Hi, my name is Jerry, and today I'm talking about why is Green Lantern actually not that bad. Okay, actually, why is Green Lantern bad? Like, I've heard some people say that it's a boring movie or it has bad characters, the character building isn't so good. Well, fuck. I understand that it's a bad movie. It has some bad parts, some good parts. I'm just try to cover all aspects. I think the bad part is part of the reason the movie is good. Like Spider-Man 3 is a not so good movie, but the bad part is what makes it a great movie. It's an iconic, wholesome movie. I mean, not really wholesome. So let's just jump into it. Okay, the first thing that I think is bad is the character of Hal Jordan. Like, Hal Jordan in this movie is made to look like an unlikable kind of character, which is not what Hal Jordan is in the comics. Actually, I think the writers who tried to translate the comics into the movie kind of got it wrong. Like in the comics, they tried to show Hal Jordan as this kind of daredevil character that always goes against the orders, but that's not who he is. He's not like just Tyler Durden in Fight Club who wants to just break all the rules. The reason he's like that is because he has an immense amount of willpower. That's all it is about. Like in the comics, if you pay attention, even though his mother tells him because of what happened to his father not to go near any plane and don't think about becoming a pilot, because since he was a child, that was his dream, nothing could have stopped him. He left his family at his 18 years old birthday, I think, to join the Air Force and become a pilot. And that's the kind of character he is. He has so much will that if he wants to do something, there's nothing that can stop him. So not even his family can stop him from becoming what he wants. And that's the whole thing, the whole concept behind the ring. The ring needs a shit ton of willpower for the person to be able to will it. I think it was in the comic Green Lantern Returns that Arrow tried to use a ring for once, and with all his willpower that he had in his body, he was only able to create an arrow to defend himself with. And that's why Hal Jordan was chosen, because he has a lot of willpower, and that's why his character seems like a hot-headed rule breaker, but that's not him. And I think they failed to show that in the movie, and that's why his character isn't an acceptable character, a lovable character for the viewers. And that's the main reason why people don't like the movie, because the main character isn't lovable. Well, the second thing is obviously the villain. Like, Parallax is a great villain, but the thing is they use it in all the wrong ways. Parallax is a symbolic villain. The power of Parallax is mostly shown at its best when the Parallax possesses someone else. And actually that's the origin of where Parallax came from, which I'm going to explain later. It's not supposed to look like a cloud.
Hey, is that a cloud outside? What, seriously? Oh,
it's supposed to look like this gigantic insect that can just rip you apart in a blink of an eye. So if you don't know the origin of Parallax, it's basically the writers of the comics trying to hit two birds with one stone. So the weakness of Green Lanterns is the color yellow. Yeah, the color yellow. So yeah, like John Wick could kill them in a bar fight with a pencil. On the other hand, they were trying to make the Hal Jordan's character this good turn evil kind of character, like Green Lantern broke bad kind of stuff. So there's this whole story that Hal Jordan goes back to Earth, sees everybody he loves is dead. He goes crazy and then he kills all of the Green Lanterns. And during this whole thing that is doing all this bad stuff, he called himself Parallax. Yeah. And yeah, after that, like, something happens and then he dies. So they're trying to bring Hal Jordan back, but they were like, oh, this guy is a mass murderer now, we can't just bring him back as a good superhero that everybody loves. People aren't just gonna forgive him. So they had to find a way to redeem him. So they were like, oh, this is not... So the whole backstory for the Parallax that they have is that the Guardians, like, captured this entity of fear called Parallax and imprisoned him in the Owen supply battery, the whole... So they said that this entity in the power battery is the reason that there's a weakness against color yellow. And the thing that happened to Hal Jordan and made him all evil was fear and Parallax, you know, possessing him, and that's the reason why he was calling himself Parallax. He didn't just give himself the name Parallax. Parallax can't be a villain, like, that's why they used Hector Hammond in the movie, which was a good choice, but they didn't use Hector Hammond as the peak and the climax of the movie. They used Parallax. So like they took all this time to build up Hector Hammond as this villain that Green Lantern is gonna fight at the end of the movie, and in the climax of the movie he just dies in the most stupid way. Which is like, imagine like in Spider-Man 1, like Spider-Man is like fighting Green Goblin, and like at the end of the movie Green Goblin gets run over by a car thief, and just Spider-Man throws the thief in the jail. Obviously that wouldn't be satisfying, and that is the reason why people mostly think this movie didn't have a satisfying ending, because like the main villain was Hector Hammond, but in the end of the movie they pretended like Parallax is the main villain, which is obviously not true, and that's why people didn't like it. The last thing is the emotional climax, like the moment that Hal Jordan's father dies is an important moment in Hal Jordan's character building, and they could have used it like in the final fight scene as a, I don't know, some kind of a challenge that Hal Jordan is struggling with fear and hope. But instead of that, they use a flashback that Hal Jordan has from his father's death 10 minutes after the actual scene of his father dying, and all this moment, this emotional climax does is to humiliate Hal Jordan because it shows that he can't drive a plane, which I think was a big mistake. Like, it was a great moment that they could have used in the movie, but they just missed the opportunity. Yeah, so I'm just gonna move on to the things that I think make this movie an enjoyable, fun movie to watch. So, number one. First thing gotta be the character building. Like, they really try to translate the comic characters into the movie. But the thing about the movie is that they have limited time, so there's a limited amount of characteristics that they can show from a character. So if you don't balance the things you show in the right way, if you like depict the wrong kind of character and a different one from the one you have from the comics, like character of Hal Jordan is actually in the comics a hot-headed, like too cool for the school kind of kid, and like he always like tries to go against what everybody tells him. Like, I don't know if you know, like Green Lanterns have a weakness against color yellow, and all he did while his first like couple trainings that he had with Kilowog was trying to like break the pattern and be able to go against the weakness against the color yellow. So yeah, he's this kind of character, and they did kind of show that in the movie, but as I said, like they focus too much on the negative stuff. The second good character gotta be Sinestro. First of all, they like nailed the appearance. I didn't think they could pull it off. And second of all is Mark Strong. Like, look at this guy, he's awesome. So the next thing is like another thing that tried to like do a little nod to the comic was the fight scene between Kilowog and Hal Jordan. There is a scene that Kilowog throws some kind of discs towards Hal Jordan. So in the comics, this is the first moment that Hal Jordan realizes that he has a weakness to the color yellow, and then he goes into all training to go against this weakness. So yeah, so like in the movie they didn't want to like add the whole weakness to the color yellow thing, and they were like, oh, it's just fear, it's not the color yellow. Okay, the next thing is the character Hector Hammond. Like the character Hector Hammond in the DC comics is basically Charles Xavier, but he's ugly and evil. Okay, like in the comics, he doesn't get his power from Parallax. I think it's an entity called Avarice, but like except for that, I think they did a pretty good job. Or it's just maybe because I just love the actor so much. I think it looks like if Paul Rudd and the guy from 24 had a baby. You know, I'm gonna do the face mix thing, and then I'm gonna put the pictures up here, see if they look alike. Last thing gotta be like the relationship between Hal Jordan and Carol Ferris. Like in the comics, it's basically the same as in the movies. Like they have this on and off romantic relationship, and then they're always fighting like over different kind of stuff. Which, I mean, I think they did pretty well in the movie, so bonus points. Okay, here's some fun facts that I found out like as I was researching for this stuff. Okay, so the first thing is there's like this character called One, and like he's a Green Lantern, and his species hasn't developed the power of sight. So his the symbol on his chest is a symbol of a bell. Okay, and the character of Guardians, like the blue guys, are based on the first Prime Minister of Israel, which I think is like pretty funny since their whole character is like they give some information to Green Lanterns, but like they hide the really like important stuff. I think it's pretty accurate with his characters to be based on a politician. Yeah, and the sequel for like Green Lantern was like greenlit before it came out, but like after it came out, like it was such a disaster that they had to cancel it. Which I think the sequel will be a lot better because like the character is such a good character, and like the Hal Jordan and Tarantula have been like enemies for ages, and fans would love to see that in a movie. And if you don't know, like the actor of Hector Hammond is playing in the new Batman movies as Harvey Dent. I don't know why always he gets like the villains whose face gets fucked up. Anyways, that was the video for today. Hope you enjoyed that.